Good day, everybody. Morning number 1844. Today is Martin Luther King Day. It is the 1844th day. I've come here for morsels of a thought to bring you morsels of a thought. Hopefully, that we're bringing us wisdom. Hopefully, that learning the right thing to do is a form of wisdom, that we are learning the right thing to do, and then taking the action creates virtue. Taking the action on the wisdom, knowing the right thing to do is wisdom, doing it is virtue. So I'm coming to lots of other people who are very wise, who have come through. For example, as Allyson Chavez has the prosperity approach, the simple formula to ultimate prosperity. And I'm simply reading to you what they have experienced, that they have found was the right thing to do for themselves, so we can glean from them a little bit of experience that we ourselves haven't gone through, so that we can gain some wisdom ourselves. So we're reading for this reason. Now, it was our turn to think of statements that we might like to muscle test on to do the sway test. Write them below and put T if it's true for you and F if it's false for you. Okay. The sway test was where we would stand and put our hands over our heart, and then speak a sentence or think a sentence out loud, and then see which way our body sways, forward or backward. Okay, so David R. Hawkins, MD, PhD, said, like the sun, the inner self is always shining, but because of negative clouds, we do not experience it. It is not necessary to program oneself with the truth. It is only necessary to remove that which is false. The removal of the clouds from the sky to illuminate the negative allows one to experience the energy fields of that which is positive. It is only the removal of the negative that is necessary, the willingness to let go of the habits of negative thinking. The removal of the obstacles to the experiencing of this will result in an increasing sense of aliveness and a joy of one's own existence. David R. Hawkins, MD, PhD. Now, that is a very fulfilling statement, because when we are trying to, for example, remove clutter, what we can do is, instead of trying to arrange everything, simply remove whatever doesn't belong there. Remove that first, and you'll see that whatever does belong there already has a configuration, and you may be able to leave it in that configuration. We don't know. So that's what this person is saying, that it is not necessary to program oneself with the truth. It is only necessary to remove that which is false. Like, for example, I'm an idiot because I can't lose weight. That's not true. I can lose weight and I'm not an idiot. But saying that sounds funny, but it's false. So there's that. I'm an idiot. I can't lose weight. No, I am a compassionate human being, and I can lose that weight. And I don't have to say those things to myself. All I have to do is stop saying the negative. Okay, so I know what my inner frequency is. Now what? Says Allyson Chavez. That's a wonderful question. If you now understand that you're an energetic match to some things that aren't going to help you live that life of prosperity after, it's really important to get rid of that energy. So, how do you do that? There are so many different ways or methods called modalities of clearing lower energetic vibrations. My favorite modality, and the one that I use on myself, my family, and my clients, is one I developed called energetic connections, capital E, capital C. It is the fastest, most comprehensive method I've come across to clear away those energetic, quote, clouds of negativity, end quote, so the true you can shine through. It's simple, straightforward, and miraculous in its effects. True confessions. I am a recovering people pleaser. My favorite joke about that is I am a recovering people pleaser. Is that okay? It's a cute joke, actually. Uh, Growing up and into my adult years, I was always afraid of others' judgments of me, and so I tried really hard to keep my nose clean, so to speak. Though I didn't become a doormat for people, I said yes many times when I should have said no. I would quote pretzel, end quote, myself and my schedule so no one else was put out, and I had a very hard time ever asking for help because I didn't want to inconvenience anyone. I've done that too. Turn yourself into a pretzel, just like the other authors in this book say pretzel brain twist, um, pretzel as a verb. So, you can imagine my delight when I discovered that I can simply, quickly, and easily release the fear of others' judgment. The first time I used energy work to clear that belief, I felt this relief wash over me. It was amazing. It was so fast and so simple. Since I've released the energy of that belief, I have much stronger, healthier boundaries. I don't take things personally like I used to, and there is so much less drama in my life. It is beyond the scope of this book to dive into the mechanics of energetic connections, but I do teach it live in a master class called the Prosperity Approach Live 3-day intensive. If you're looking for something that you can learn very quickly and feel its positive effects immediately, please visit my website, AllysonChavez.com. It's spelled ALLYSONCHAVEZ.com. It has changed my life, my family's life, and my clients' lives for the better. The other method I'll use on occasion is called Emotional Freedom Technique, EFT, or tapping, quote, end quote, as it's commonly known. Emotional Freedom Technique. And energy moves at the speed of a thought, and we can clear energy long distance and even for other people because we're all energy and we're all connected energetically. But sometimes our body really wants to be involved when releasing that energy. After all, the energy is being quarantined in the body, isn't it? That's one of the reasons I like tapping so much. It involves the body in a really easy way. We are reading The Prosperity Approach, the simple formula to ultimate prosperity. We're on page 49 by Allyson Chavez. We're bringing more virtue into the world by giving you wisdom, because wisdom is knowing the right thing to do, and action is acting on it creates virtue. Excuse me while I cough. Ugh, I can't cough. I'm gonna yawn though. Goodness gracious, I'm gonna yawn. Oh, excuse me. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Well, here we are. I'm imparting a little wisdom and educating you. More like entertaining you. In a nutshell, tapping on specific meridian points, pathways that your energy runs along, much like blood vessels and arteries are the pathways for your blood, while addressing a specific negative emotion will release that emotion very quickly. It's a simple process you can use on yourself anytime and virtually anywhere. And since emotions are simply indicators of what we're vibrating, releasing the emotion of a situation or belief releases the energy of it, and so you are left feeling lighter, more hopeful, more peaceful, and balanced. Plus, you're much more aligned with the prosperity you desire. I go much into I go much deeper I go into much deeper detail with this process in my 3-month online course called Prosperity Essentials. If you'd like more information about tapping, capital T, you can do a YouTube search for quote tapping, capital T, end quote, and a myriad of videos will pop up for you. My favorite website for EFT, which is tapping, is www.emofree.com, emofree.com. Gary Craig is the founder of EFT, and this is his website. Sounds like Cary Grant almost, but Gary Craig. He walks you through the theory, science, and different uses for EFT in a very user friendly way. Nick and Jessica Ortner, ORTNER, have also written many books about EFT and hold a tapping conference online every year, capital T. You can visit their website at www.thetappingsolution, all one word.com. Something you can do right now on your own to release lower vibrations of energy is to heighten your awareness of what you're feeling. Trace it back to the thought that caused it and ask yourself what the gift is in the situation. If you're willing to let part or all of the negative experience go energetically, you can even muscle test the level of your willingness. If you're willing, take a deep breath and tap on your breastbone 5 times and then let out that energy in a big exhale. You can do this as many times as you require to feel relief. Usually 2 or 3 nice big breaths will do it for me. It's this bone, the collarbone. It's either that or it's down here. Could be. I'm not sure which one it is. Breastbone, collarbone. I suppose it's the one on the side then. I suppose. I'm not sure which one it's yet. I wish I could. Wish she said something. Chapter 4, Mental, the second pillar of prosperity. Okay, this is all Allyson Chavez. I think it's Allyson Chavez or Allyson Chavez. Allyson Chavez. Not sure. I didn't ask her. I did meet her. She wrote to me, and she wrote to me in there too. I can write that. I can't write that. I can't read that. I can't read that right now. Chapter 4, Mental, the second pillar of prosperity. James Allen. Law, not confusion, is the dominating principle in the universe. This being so, man has but to write himself to find that the universe is right, RIGHT. And during the process of putting himself right, he will find that as he alters his thoughts toward things and other people will alter towards him. That's James Allen. I'm going to change the book around and have you read. Okay. Are you? Okay. Um, see, she wrote this in March of 2025. Are you on a journey or destination? Are you a journey or destination kind of person? Do you find joy in the journey? Or would you rather skip the journey and get right to the destination? Before I discovered the prosperity formula, I was all about skipping the journey and getting right to the destination. I'm raising my hand for this part too. I am like that. I was impatient for my dreams to come true. I am like that too. I wanted them to come yesterday. I am like that too. But when I discovered the universal and mental laws behind prosperity, and I learned what was truly going on around me and within me, I began enjoying the journey. In fact, the journey became a ton of fun and incredibly magical. Interesting. Better fall. Ooh, do that. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, better. Okay. Um, It's important to fully understand that prosperity is a process, not an event. It doesn't have to be a very long process, but there are things that must happen first before you can outwardly experience the life you desire. Prosperity also has specific rules regarding how to create it. These rules revolve around universal laws of thought and creation, which we'll go into detail coming up. As you come to know and obey the rules of prosperity, you begin to change, and then life begins to change. But the inner change comes first. The outer change always follows the inner change. If you feel impatient about creating the life you want, that impatience is simply a mask for an underlying belief that what you want will not actually come, or maybe it will come, but it won't stay. That's why most people don't like the journey. They're afraid of it. They're afraid it will be hard and scary, and even after all that work, they won't actually get what they want. I speak from experience. I remember going to a week-long training and at the very beginning on day one, wishing we were at day five and that I knew everything they were going to teach us. I wanted it downloaded in my brain without the experience of learning it. That's how much I didn't like the journey. So we are reading from Allyson Chavez, The Prosperity Approach, the simple formula to ultimate prosperity. She has a little bit of religious belief in here, but she also accounts for the higher power sense that we all have. I say we all have it because there's always somebody who says, well, I hope such and such won't happen or will happen. That includes a higher power. Okay, so where did I just leave it? Oh, most people are control freaks, whether they admit it or not. That's why I love the mental pillar of prosperity so much. Control freaks rejoice. You get to be as controlling as you can handle with this pillar. The problem most of us have is we're trying to control the wrong things. We're trying to control other people and circumstances when the only thing within our absolute control is our own thoughts and reactions to circumstances around us. Yesterday, I was on a group call. It was a class, and there was one gentleman who was interrupting the class quite a bit because he thought he knew so much. And he was speaking, and he finally said at the end, you know, whenever we're in the group chat, people all say the same thing. They say, yes, I know, yes, I do, yes, okay, yes, okay. He says, with all those reactions, we have to scroll really high to get back to the original topic. He says, I hate that. He didn't say I hate that in those words, but I said to him, you can't control that. So that's what we have to say is understand that we cannot control anything except our own thoughts and reactions to the circumstances around us. This chapter, chapter 4, is all about pulling back the curtain on your circumstances and your mind to see what's really going on. It's about taking a peek into the laws God has created to assist us in being co-creators of our life on this planet. These are universal laws of truth, which means if they work for me, they'll also work for you. As you come to know and obey these laws with exactness, you will find life become more and more miraculous. Opportunities will come your way, important connections will be made, and things will work out better than you could ever plan. Don't get too caught up on the word exactness, though. Exactness doesn't mean perfection, it means doing something with accuracy or correctness. Exactness doesn't mean perfection. It means doing something with accuracy or correctness. David A. Bednar said, obedience brings blessings, but obedience with exactness brings miracles. That's a very nice way to put it. Now, Allyson Chavez says, in my years of study and research, I've found 4 mental laws and 21 universal laws that assist us in creating prosperity. These laws help us clearly see what is going on around us and our role in creating our reality. When used correctly, these laws help us to feel confident, faithful, and patient throughout the prosperity process. And using these laws helps us to feel joy in the journey, the joy God intended us to feel. These laws are not an exhaustive list, but they're the ones that I found to be the most useful for prosperity. I learned these laws from many amazing teachers along the way and many online searches, along with lots of prayer and pondering over how they worked in my own life. Guidelines versus rules. In the movie The Pirates of the Caribbean, Elizabeth saves her own life by invoking parley after being captured by pirates, which is the right to speak and negotiate with the captain rather than just being killed outright. Later on, the pirates tell her that parley, quote, is more of a guideline than an actual rule, end quote. Now, anytime my husband or I see someone break the law by speeding through a red light or not signaling and then cutting someone off, we joke that the laws are guidelines more than actual rules. How many times have you broken the law and not been disciplined for it? For me, too many times to count. I really like to drive fast. I, we tend to think that universal laws act just like man-made laws. Sometimes they're invoked and other times they're not. But that's not how the universal laws of thought and creation work. These laws are as absolute as the laws of math and physics. It doesn't matter who you know, how good you are at talking your way out of things, or even how good of a person you are. If you step off a tall building, the law of gravity is going to pull you down to the earth. And it doesn't matter if you're 2 years old and you don't know the law, or if you're 42 and you're ignoring the law. The laws work whether you know them or not, whether you use them or not, or whether you like them or not. If you make a mistake in math, the error is on your side, not on math. You must correct your mistake because the laws of math aren't going to change for you. Keep this in mind as you learn these laws. If you're not living the life of prosperity you want, it's because you're not obeying the universal laws with exactness. The change must be made on your part. The laws work perfectly every time. Laws to get you going. I have grouped the laws into two categories: the ones to use when you have a new goal or desire you're working toward, and laws to use when it seems like nothing is working. The laws don't have to be used in order, and you'll see how they dovetail into each other so beautifully. As you read, I invite you to determine how well you obey the laws and see how the laws are playing out in your life today. You'll find that not every law is applicable in every single situation in your life. So it's not necessary to employ every law all the time. That's why I separated them into two categories: law of perpetual transmutation. Everything is either going into physical form or out of it. The form it takes depends on the condition of the environment. Take water, for example. Water exists in many forms: vapor, a gas in the form of steam, rain, and as a solid in ice or snow. But conditions have to be right for it to exist in any of these forms. Rain doesn't always turn to snow. In fact, rain clouds don't always bring rain. The conditions in the environment always aren't always conducive to rain. Water can go through a few of these forms without going through all of them, and it can shift back and forth between forms. It has to have the right environment for it to exist in a specific form. Our ideas work the same way. And next time we will get into this part and continue in our reading of Allyson Chavez's prosperity approach, the simple formula to ultimate prosperity. Okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Old Kinderhut.